new addition, I've put some twinkly lights all the way up my new clematis support, so when they come on they're blue. I've took a photo on my phone last night. I'll see if I can put it on this video so you can see. Hi and welcome back to Tina's garden. I've been doing a bit of painting in between the rain. I think that must be the theme for this year, in between the rain. I had to stop because it was starting to spot, so I went to do something else, and then it stopped raining and the sun came out. You can't win, can you? So anyway, I've done a bit more on the summer house. I've painted a bit, and I've been doing some sorting out with the dahlias, which I'm going to take you up and show you. I've had a lot of sporting events on at the minute, so things have kind of been doing a bit here and a bit there in between me being tired from doing other things. I've started really sorting out up the top of the garden, which I'm going to show you, and hope I can get everything finished before the really cold weather comes. Otherwise I'll be working through the winter to get it all sorted before spring gets here and I'm not ready for it, which always seems to be the case, doesn't it? All these jobs to do and you never get them done, and then spring's here and then you're behind, and this is the way of gardening, isn't it, really? More to do than you're physically capable of doing. Right, I'll go and take you up the garden and show you what I've been up to. Right, the side of the summer house has got one coat on, and it's a bit rough and ready because it was a quick coat because it was starting to spot with rain. I thought I'd just get this panel finished, so it needs another coat desperately, but at least all this side of the summer house looks one colour now instead of two. This side's not completed. I've got to move the toys and I've got that bit to do, but I started on this side, and the showers kind of got a bit heavier, so I kind of stopped and thought, what can I do in the rain? So we went looking up the garden to find something I could do in the rain, and this is what we did. Right, I've just put the wind muff on because the wind's getting up a bit, but I've took all the supports out and I've got to untangle them and sort them out. And if you can see, look, my dahlias, and they were still flowering, and it seemed a shame. There was plenty of buds on them, but I decided to move one, and I found that some of them was rotting out underneath, and that's because of all the rain, and so I decided that they needed to be cut off. And look, the bed is ready for winter. There's a bit I think there's a bit of condensate. Oh, it's not, it's on top. Is it on top? No, it's not, it's underneath. There's a bit underneath because I normally have a bit more air venting on this side, but it was so windy, I've had to kind of put stuff on to hold it, so I'm going to lift it back up again in a minute so I can get some air underneath. I'll take it off and show you what I've been doing. Right, so if you remember, there was a lot more in here than what's in now. I've left this one in, this is that unwind mix. I thought it could just stay on that corner. So we now start with, hold on just a minute, yes, there we are. White, pink, white, pink, white, pink, and I've left my big one, my big flowery one. Let me just show you what it is. So that's this one here, look, there we are. So that one I've left in on the corner, even though it's not really a pink or a white. So that's that one there, and I'll just get some bigger supports for that corner to hold it up. This one's only a small pink one. This one I've moved from there, kind of brought it over because there was originally 1, 2 all the way down, so you'd got like 2 rows So that's made more space for them, and I'm going to put some fertiliser on them, round them in the spring, give them a boost. I always cover them up, try and let them dry off with a bit of ventilation in each end of this plastic, which I'm going to put back on in a minute, and put the ventilation in instead of making it nearly flat to the floor. And once it is all dried out, then I put it flat for the winter to stop it, and put weights on it to stop it blowing off. Right. So there we are, we've got the vent in now, so the breeze can blow in there and try and dry it all out, and then they should be fine for next year. And if it rains, they don't get much rain on them. So the trouble with dahlias, it's the wet. If they get too wet for too long, especially towards the end of the season when they're not really growing very much, and the roots aren't taking that much water in, they start to rot. So I'm going to show you where I've put the ones I've taken out. There's all the supports all ready to go in the shed. See, this one, I didn't really want to cut it down. I've put it in my dustbin. It's got some water in the bottom, and it's still surviving. I was going to take it in and put it in a vase, but I forgot. So it stayed there. So still looking pretty, but it all has to come to an end. Everything has to be cleared up. My little owl looks nice amongst my clematis. That's going to be really pretty. It's the paint's coming off it a bit though. I don't know whether I ought to take it in for the winter or not, but right, here we have, I don't know whether you can see this, these are the reds. So we've got this big one here is the one with the little tiny red flowers on, and then there's the other red that's only ended up with about 2 or 3 flowers on this year. It's quite small when I took it out, not done very well. That's at the back. So we're just trying to get some of this soil to dry out and these to dry out. Could do with being upside down really, but I hadn't got into the room. And then these will go into the shed. I'll put some more soil around them because they need to be kept a little bit damp or to get too dry. And then they will go in the shed in the dark underneath my worktop. And the shed seems to get a little bit damp, so it keeps this soil just about like this, not too dry, not too wet, and then they do all right. And I've got one there, another one there, and 2 in buckets here, a white and a pink. I've collected some seeds up as well. They're drying out nicely. I put my clematis, put another shelf in here and put my clematis up here. I think they're starting to die. This little green shoots on this has gone, so I think they're going dormant. Might lose that one. I've got this funny feeling I'm going to lose that one. But them 2 are improving, so they can stay there for the winter and they won't get too cold. I'll zip it up. They get a bit of ventilation because this cover's about had it. I've got another one underneath here. There are 2 of them unwind mixers and little tiny flowers that I seem to have all over the place now. So I've just shoved that underneath there. The one I had in a pot like that last year survived the winter just outside, so I'm sure that'll survive in there. So that's what I've been up to in between my different races. I've got half marathon next weekend, so I'm not planning on probably doing an awful lot in the garden this week, and then once this half marathon's over and I won't be training quite so hard, I can get stuck in and finish the garden. So I'll see you next time.